Hello, lovely people. Okay, it's been a hot minute since I recorded, and I want to firstly thank you for your patience, for hanging around, for coming back. I do love creating this podcast and creating these episodes. I have been going through life. We have now put the little man in nursery a few days a week, so feeling really good about that. I think I've read so much online about how difficult it could be. And I've heard from so many mums how emotional it could be. But I'm just going to be honest that for me, it was like a really joyful thing. And I feel really fortunate to have that opportunity to have that support. And it doesn't go past me. I don't know if that's the right phraseology, but that's the right phrase or way of saying it. But it doesn't get past me that part of this is probably because of my 15-hour week and my work life, and he's not going back 4 days a week, 5 days a week, even 3 days a week. He started 2 days a week. So I do think that has something to do with it as well. And which is why I'm super passionate about helping other women and parents and people and humans change the way we work so that everyone can have that if they want it. And so that's the first thing. The second thing you might notice if you are watching this in video form, because we've started to put them on videos on YouTube, you are seeing my new office because we've moved house. So we've bought a house, we've been buying furniture. It's our first house, our first family home. So there's been a lot going on here, whether it's like sorting out bills and so on. So for those of you that know me, which I'm guessing you do if you're listening to my podcast or watching this video, I'm a big proponent of not just like adding things to our list without removing things. So let this be the example to you that I do practice what I preach, and to like give you permission as well when you are going through things in life, through phases, whether it's raising children or moving home or whatever it is. It's so easy to just like cram more things on, but we really want to be thinking about creating balance and not stressing ourselves, not creating unrealistic to-do lists that keep us always behind, always busy, always stressed, always overwhelmed. So this is officially your permission slip to say no to things for a period of time while you have other priorities. Right? I've really been thinking about the word priorities recently. I don't think I use it that much or have used it that much in my work, but that is really what it comes down to. There's a quote I love. I cannot remember who it's by, but it's like the idea of like the word priority is like one important thing. But of course, as humans, we made it plural. We want multiple priorities. And if you were to pause right now and think about your priorities, how many would you have? Would you have 3? Would you have 5? Would you have 10? Would you have 20? Would you have 3 for work, 3 for personal, 3 for self? Like, I just want you to think about how many priorities that you have and how interesting it is that word in itself, like the word priorities almost shouldn't exist. It's like the most important thing has become the most important things. And that's why so many of us are so overwhelmed, so stressed. So actually, I was going to speak about something else today, but this feels like where we're going. So I'm going to stick with it and just invite you all to consider about your priorities. If you were to pick one priority, what is that priority? Really think about it. And I know that a lot of you are probably like, one, is she bonkers? But like, really, what if there was just one priority? What would it be? Like, really don't let your brain talk you out of answering that. And then I want you to think about, so once you've got the priority, that one priority, I want you to think about the last 24 hours and what you've done. And I want you to be really detailed here. You don't need to write it out if you don't want. You can literally just pause and say it out loud. But I would pause and not let me speak because you'll get distracted by me. But if you are watching on YouTube, then you could just pause and write it down. But think about everything you've done in the last 24 hours. So I'm thinking from like waking up to like hitting snooze to having a morning coffee. Actually, this isn't my morning at all. I don't drink coffee. But, for me, if I think about the last 24 hours, it was like waking up, staying in bed in the morning as my partner took the baby down to give him breakfast and then brought him back up, and we had morning snuggles. We went to my parents for bagels, and then we came home. My husband came home. I stayed there with the baby for a bit, hanging out with my family. It was a Sunday, so hence the bagels. Maybe that's just a thing in England, I don't know. Bagels on Sunday is definitely a thing here. And then we came back home, we hung out, and then my cousin came around with her kids to see the house. And then I can't even remember from there, to be honest. Wait, no, you don't need to hear about my whole day anyway, but it was getting into evening, we made some dinner, we're watching a new series on Netflix, we definitely watched that. Had a nice hot shower, got into bed quite early actually, because the baby's not 100%, got into bed quite early, put him down to sleep, stayed with him, and then crashed myself, which was great because he started waking up at like 4 a.m. So I was super grateful to have gone to bed early. Anyway, so really be detailed there. I could have been more detailed, I think, even, but like, you know, notice about what I'm eating, where I'm spending my time, who I'm spending my time with. You could even think about it, you know, like, are you checking your emails? Are you checking your socials? Are you responding to things? And I really want you to be a bit more detailed there than I was even. So get super clear on your one priority and then how you spent your time in the last 24 hours and see how they relate. See, like, are you living in line with your priorities? And you can even look at like the last 48 hours if you want, just really be willing to go into the details. What I think most of you will find is that you actually are living more in line with your priority than you think. But where you are not, guess what? It's a brand new day. Ask yourself this. Okay, you've set the priority, the one, even though your brain's resisting it, I know, but we're just going to start with one. We can always add more lesser priorities later, or important things, but there's one priority and there's other important things. So you want to set the priority, you want to own the priority, you want to review how you've been spending your time, and then with intention, you want to think about the next 24 hours, what you want to give to your priority. Notice how I'm using that language. I'm saying, what do you want to give to your priority? Not do you want to, not what it's going to take from you. Something you've taken from you is like, leaves you powerless and it isn't a nice feeling, but gifting is always a nice feeling. So that's what I want to leave you with today. Just something short, sweet, getting back on the podcasting bull, so to speak. Really so pleased to be connecting back with you all. Thank you again for allowing me to be human, and I will always be that example for you, that you get to be human, you get to be inconsistent, as long as you are persistent, which is about always coming back, which is what I'm doing with you guys today. I love you all. I'm so interested to hear about your priorities, so if you want to, you can post it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever and tag me, and I will see it, and you commit to it, and I think you'll be surprised at how easy it is to realign with your priorities. And that's what I wanted to give you today. All right, lovely people. Bye.